Imagine a world where the clocks have been reset to zero, where centuries-old traditions are dismantled overnight, and where the very fabric of society is torn apart and rewoven. This was the reality for millions of Russians in the early 20th century as they lived through one of the most pivotal events in modern history, the Russian Revolution. The Russian Revolution, spanning from 1905 to 1924, was not a single event, but a series of upheavals that transformed Russia from a backward empire ruled by autocratic Tsars into the world's first socialist state. This seismic shift in power structures and ideology would go on to shape global politics for the entire 20th century and beyond. At the dawn of the 20th century, Russia was a land of stark contrasts. Tsar Nicholas II ruled over a vast empire with an iron fist, while the majority of his subjects, peasants and workers, lived in abject poverty. The Industrial Revolution had come late to Russia, and with it came urban squalor, dangerous working conditions, and a growing class of discontented proletariat. Intellectuals, inspired by Western ideas of democracy and socialism, began to challenge the autocratic system. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the world. The spark that ignited the powder keg came on January 9, 1905, a day that would go down in history as Bloody Sunday. A peaceful protest in St. Petersburg ended in a massacre when the Tsar's troops opened fire on the demonstrators. The shock waves of this event reverberated throughout Russia, leading to strikes, mutinies, and uprisings. Tsar Nicholas II, in an attempt to quell the unrest, issued the October Manifesto, promising civil liberties and an elected parliament, the Duma. While this temporarily calmed the situation, it was too little, too late. The revolutionary spirit had been awakened. Russia's entry into World War I in 1914 proved to be the catalyst that would bring down the Tsarist regime. As the war dragged on, Russia suffered defeat after defeat. At home, food shortages, rampant inflation, and the Tsar's mismanagement of the war effort fueled growing discontent. As if the pressures of war weren't enough, the imperial court was embroiled in scandal and intrigue, largely centered around one controversial figure, Grigory Rasputin. This Siberian peasant turned self-proclaimed holy man had gained unprecedented influence over the royal family, particularly Tsarina Alexandra. Rasputin's rise to prominence was linked to his apparent ability to ease the suffering of the young Tsarevich Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia. This made him indispensable to the desperate parents, but his presence at court and rumored influence over government appointments scandalized Russian society, while tales of debauchery, coupled with his perceived manipulation of the Tsarina, severely damaged the reputation of the monarchy. While Rasputin's actual political influence may have been exaggerated, the public perception of his power contributed significantly to the erosion of respect for the Romanov dynasty. In the dead of night on December 30, 1916, a group of aristocrats, fearing Rasputin's influence was destroying Russia, assassinated him in a dramatic fashion. It reportedly took poison, multiple gunshots, and drowning to finally kill the mysterious holy man. This event, just months before the February Revolution, symbolized the desperation and decay at the heart of the Tsarist system. The Rasputin affair highlighted the disconnect between the royal family and the Russian people, further delegitimizing the monarchy at a crucial moment in history. In February 1917, March in the Gregorian calendar, the pressure cooker finally exploded. Massive strikes and demonstrations broke out in Petrograd, formerly St. Petersburg. When soldiers refused to fire on the protesters and instead joined them, the Tsar's power crumbled. On March 15, 1917, Nicholas II abdicated, bringing an end to over 300 years of Romanov rule. A provisional government was formed, but it would soon find itself sharing power with an alternative center of authority, the Petrograd Soviet of Workers' and Soldiers' Deputies. In the months following the February Revolution, Russia was in turmoil. The provisional government, led by Alexander Kerensky, struggled to address the pressing issues of war, land reform, and food shortages. Meanwhile, the Bolsheviks, a radical socialist party led by Vladimir Lenin, gained increasing support with their promises of peace, land, and bread. On October 25, 1917, November 7 in the Gregorian calendar, the Bolsheviks, under the leadership of Lenin and Leon Trotsky, launched a nearly bloodless coup, seizing key locations in Petrograd. The provisional government was overthrown, and the Bolsheviks declared a new socialist state. The Bolshevik seizure of power was only the beginning. From 1917 to 1922, Russia was plunged into a brutal civil war. The Red Army, led by the Bolsheviks, fought against a loose coalition of anti-Bolshevik forces known as the Whites. The war was further complicated by foreign intervention, as Western powers, fearful of the spread of communism, sent troops to support the Whites. Despite facing seemingly insurmountable odds, the Bolsheviks emerged victorious. In 1922, the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, USSR, was officially established, with most of the former Russian Empire's territories now under communist control. The Russian Revolution's impact extended far beyond Russia's borders. It inspired socialist and communist movements worldwide, reshaping global politics for decades to come. The creation of the Soviet Union established a new superpower that would stand in opposition to the capitalist West throughout the Cold War. Within Russia, the revolution led to rapid industrialization and modernization, but also to political repression under Joseph Stalin's leadership. The promises of equality and workers' paradise would remain unfulfilled, as the Soviet Union developed into a totalitarian state. The Russian Revolution stands as one of the most consequential events of the 20th century. It represented a radical experiment in building a new society from the ground up, rejecting centuries of tradition and hierarchy. While its ultimate outcomes were far from the ideals of its instigators, it is estimated that between 7 and 12 million Russians died as a result. Its impact on world history cannot be overstated. As we look back on these tumultuous events, we are reminded of the power of ideas to shape history, the unpredictability of revolutionary change, and the complex legacy that such massive social upheavals can leave behind. The story of the Russian Revolution, from the mystical influence of Rasputin to the iron rule of the Bolsheviks, continues to fascinate and inform us, offering valuable lessons about power, ideology, and dictatorships. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history. Hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. See you next time.